What if I told you that the best training methods, the ones that you see in the guides and on the wiki when you search for a skill, were not actually the best?
You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe
that these are the best training methods in old school RuneScape.
you take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
A few years ago, I dabbled in ways to make some training methods even better. I kind of put it on the back burner and then forgot about it. But with Leagues 5 coming up, I thought what a perfect time to test and see if I can find some even better methods using that theory. And if I did, can you imagine? Oh my god, I would quit. That would be like completing the game. So within the game are a lot of skill and methods most players just simply don't value for various reasons, but they do have something that the best methods don't have. Time. Time to skill, time to do, well, pretty much anything we want. And we already know that the principle works because a lot of players high out whilst skilling or simply moving to a new area. But we've never expanded on this method, so I want to see if there are some untested methods of training two skills at once that we've never tried, because the training methods aren't considered as good as the others. First though, I want this to be as accurate as possible, so I'm going to see what XP I can get per hour in the best current methods to see what the hourly XP actually is, not what theoretically is possible with the best stats done by an AI that, never makes a mistake, but what an actual regular player that does make mistakes and isn't max gets. 2-tick fishing in Port Piscarillius is currently the best XP in the game. You can catch fish in the first tick when you click on the water, but the game then makes you typically wait for another 4 ticks before you can catch another fish. So by having these rats attack me every 2 ticks, I can catch a fish in the first tick, the rat then attacks me, which breaks the cycle. I can then click on the water again and catch a fish in the next tick, and I have a bow with no arrows, so I never kill the rats. Now the wiki says I can get 110,000 XP per hour, but let's see what we can actually get. The fishing spot's just moved and I'm actually on 120,000 XP per hour, but when it moves like this, what happens is it's a bit of a pain because you have to reset the rats positions and then the XP rates drop on me and you actually end up getting 110,000 per hour. Still pretty good though, and the wiki was actually right. Hunter's not my best stats, but I am level 86 and I'm only getting around 150,000 XP per hour here. I haven't been interrupted by any PKs either, and the placing's okay because there's constantly traps that need resetting, but still that's a lot less than the 200 to 275,000 XP players claim that you can get here at level 99. Before I test a few other skills though, I want to compare those two skills to an existing method that I haven't created but one that's already in the game, a training method that gives you decent XP in two different skills. So earlier I tested out the actual XP I could get from drift net fishing on Fossil Island, and this gives a decent amount of both hunter and fishing experience at the same time. And you can see the XP here was less than you can allegedly get. I've got no horse in this race, I just want to know if my hunch is right. The two skill and methods are much faster XP than what we call the best current methods. And I consistently got 80,000 fishing XP and 105,000 hunter XP per hour, which means if I spent an hour at Black Chins in the wilderness and never got PK'd, then an hour 2-tick fishing, I'd have spent 2 hours in total and I'd have got 110,000 fishing XP and 150,000 hunter XP. But if I simply did this method for 2 hours, I'd have taken the same amount of time to get 160,000 fishing XP and 210,000 hunter XP. That is almost 50% more hunter XP and 40% more fishing XP. So my theory is by utilising the downtime in more AFK methods, we can replicate this ourselves in a bunch of other different ways. And if I'm wrong, you just don't release the video and no one gets to find out you're an idiot. You hardly see anyone stealing artifacts these days in Port Piscarillius, apart from if it's a task in leagues, even though it's only a little bit less XP than Pyramid Plunder, and there's all of this time where you're essentially doing nothing but running around. Now to do it efficiently, you need to make sure these two guards here are facing either the water or the post in front of them, just like this, and if they aren't, you just hot wells until there's one where they are. Now you can run past on the opposite side of the platform that they're on, and they won't see you when you have a stolen artifact. You also want either book that can teleport you to various places in Core End, as the second teleport on the list here teleports you straight here. So you can pick up a job and then teleport straight here to make it a little bit faster. You can't though teleport back after you've got the artifact or you'll lose it. So I'm thinking that there are two skills possible that I could do here while stealing artifacts. The first method that I'm going to test on its own is fletching dragon darts, the fastest fletching method currently. Okay, that seems to be leveling out around 1.7 million per hour. It's really difficult to do this and look at the XP I'm getting, that's why I'm making mistakes. But yeah, let's say 1.7 million fletching XP per hour is possible between wrist replacement surgery. The other skill that's possible on the run is one-tick enchanting bolts as well, the fastest current mage training method, so I'll do that one too. 550,000 XP per hour, not too bad. I don't mind that one, it's just clicking buttons rather than a million mouse movements, so it's just nowhere near as sweaty. The last thing I need to test is thieving methods. Now this is one of the two best thieving methods out there, but unfortunately I'm only level 88 and the XP does jump up when you can access the final room at 91, but I'm still getting 180,000, probably 190,000 by the time I finish this room. But I'm also going to do the Rogue's Chest and the Wildie just to see which is best at my level, and then I'll use whichever gives me the best XP. Awesome. PK on the second chest. Love the wilderness. I reset the XP and go again. I don't want to factor in PKs to the method because you can go really lucky or really unlucky here and get one every few minutes or once in half an hour, and it's just going to mess up the figures. So instead I'm going to have to estimate, I guess. Well, this is infinitely better. It's leveling out around 310,000 XP, but of course that doesn't include PKs or banking. So I'm going to say realistically the best XP per hour that you're going to get here is probably about 250,000, and I would say that's probably being generous. The first test, I'm going to be attempting to fletch dragon dart tips whilst doing stealing artifacts at the same time. No idea how this is going to go, and I'll probably be questioning my entire life at the same time as doing it. The XP to beat is 250,000 thieving XP and 1.7 million fletching XP that I would get if I train both skills for an hour. The XP on the way to the artifact is going to be good, it's just how much XP I can get on the way back whilst trying to avoid the guards. In a really weird way, this is actually making fletching dragon darts better. I mean, those gaps between clicks whilst you navigate your route just slows it down enough so my hand's not aching all the time. The XP is now starting to level out, so let me just turn this last one in, and we are getting, just let me pause it, 193,000 thieving XP and 829,000 fletching XP. So it turns out that over the same 2 hours it would take to get 1.7 million fletching XP and 250,000 thieving XP, here you would get 1.65 million fletching XP and 386,000 thieving XP. Now, that's obviously better, but we aren't forced to train for an hour each time equally, so to put it a better way that accounts for the fact that fletching is far more XP per hour than thieving, if you were to do 45 minutes of fletching and 1 hour and 15 minutes of thieving, you would still have trained for 2 hours, but you would get 1.27 million fletching XP and 312,000 thieving XP. That is 25% more hunter XP and 30% more fletching XP than the current alleged fastest methods in the game, just by training two skills at the same time. Testing the method though with magic ended up being a little bit more of a pain. He keeps stopping at random times, just can't work it out. It's not like he's stopping when I do something specific, he probably is, but I can't see what it is, and just now and again, see like that, just decides he's got a stitch or something. Whilst when I tested the method it was frustrating, equally the fact that you didn't need to look where you were clicking as often with magic, since you can just leave your mouse over enchant bolt, meant I could plan my route better and I ended up getting a little bit more thieving XP. So compared to the 550,000 magic XP, you get 1 tick enchanting bolt plus 250,000 thieving XP for 1 hour. 2 hours doing this will get you 582,000 magic XP and 419,000 thieving XP, which is more XP than if you had the entire wilderness to yourself and you could never get PK'd. The last thing I wanted to test was the most AFK hunter method in the game. On maniacal monkeys you can set a trap, go AFK for 15 seconds, and then more often than not you catch a monkey's tail which gives you 1000 hunter XP. On its own, it's not as good as Black Chins, so very few people bother here. But all we need to do is add in something that doesn't require banking, although unfortunately you can't access your spellbook here to enchant bolts, but you can fletch. The time here between each catch is so long that you still get 1.38 million fletching per hour, and the 1000 XP you get from each catch is a huge chunk of XP, so you also get 139,000 hunter XP too. That is 2.76 million worth of fletching XP and 278,000 hunter XP. In the same 2 hours, that it would take you to get 250,000 hunter XP and 1.7 million fletching. And there's only really two downsides to these methods. First, that you can't do it with every skill, although I'm sure there's probably other places you can do that I've not thought of yet that other players could have. Plus, black chins and the road chests are much better money per hour.